to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Keeper Show here. Now, as you can tell, this is probably being posted roughly 30-40 minutes probably after dropping the trailers for 2.5. This is a special occasion, and well, I feel like I could have done something better. So I re-put the Batman Who Laughs into this drawing. And I sort of decided to give it a better shot. I think I could have done a bit better on it, and I feel like I did. Although, I couldn't keep the laugh up because my throat is a bit sore. So let's begin at least. Whenever we last left off, Deku had just found out that number 6 has done something bad. Really, really bad. Number 6 has kidnapped Inko Midoriya, Sayako and Telly, and Ayama, Deku's friends. Along with that, it seems like this man is at Deku's school. So, something is clearly wrong. Now, with that being said, let's begin. Deku, he is, well, heading to his school, using air jets. It's the middle of the night, so no one should be around, but even then he's still keeping his face hidden, and trying to get there fast. Whatever is going on, this man clearly doesn't care anymore. So exactly why is that? Now, Deku would have gone to his school, and would have been greeted by something a bit different. A bomber from the villain's factory. Now, whenever he does see this thing, it does just stare at Deku, not really looking at him. It basically being a signal that at least he's in the right place. Deku at least trying to talk to it and brainwash it. It's someone just staring at him, before looking away. Deku then proceeding to walk in. Now, the halls of his school are empty, and in fact, he's not really sure where to head to. Him just walking around. All of the doors are unlocked, so, well, that's not really good either. It's not bad, but just means that he'll have an easier way getting through. Now, eventually, things would have taken a bit of a weird turn. Deku heading throughout his normal day. Although it's a bit weird being here, especially whenever you're trying to use your quirk to find where things are. Now, eventually Midoriya would have, well, he went to first period, finding it a bit odd to see quite a lot of people. Now, whenever he does walk into his classroom, he sees everyone from his first period class, and in fact, finding this to be a bit odd. Seeing quite a lot of people tied up in chairs. Him running over and immediately ungagging somebody. Basically pulling the tape off of their mouth, along with them spitting out something. Deku asking them what's going on here. Them being confused at why he's not tied up. Asking him to at least go get help or to run away. They need to go get heroes. Deku just saying that he'll find out what's going on. Them not really even questioning why he's here. Some of them, though, do. Deku basically running out of the room. Closing the door behind him and immediately proceeding to fly through. Checking every classroom. This place is littered with other people. And not just that, people he knows. The teachers, the students, hell. It's strange, even the club members he used to be in. They're just tied up in their normal places. As if... Then Deku realizes it. This man's been following him for months. Not months, years. Deku used to be in these old clubs, but now they're just left here. The people tied up, or either in their classes. Now, eventually he would have done one thing. Heading for one of his last classes, gym. Him getting there, and opening the door. Running in to see a bit of a weird scene. You have Ayama basically stuck on top of one of the basketball hoops. Basically just sitting there. You also have Sayako and Telly on the other one. Well, on the very top of the roof, Inko is basically stuck there. She's being held onto by a rope. One connected at her waist and places to support her body. And her body weight. Deku is confused. As soon as he ran into the gym, he would have shouted one word without even really thinking. Mom! As Inko would have turned to see him. Her being confused. And staring directly at him. Somewhat saying, Midoriya? Izuku, is that you? Sayako being a bit freaked out. Turning into saying, Midoriya? No, miss, that's Shigaraki. The girl, well, Inko, turning to the girl, saying that is not his name. His name is Midoriya, Izuku. And he is her baby boy. He was kidnapped or taken away by villains. Is this where you've been all along? Who is that man? Deku just saying that he'll explain it. As he would go to run over. Hopping up into the air. Surprising quite a lot of people. Or well, all of them. As Deku would go and get close to his mom. As soon as he goes to grab at the rope, this is whenever he would have immediately felt something hit him the next second. Him being flown backwards and smashing into the stairs. Or at least the bleachers. Him getting back up. As soon as that happened, they would have all shouted for him. And asked him if he's okay. Inko saying that she knows that that's her baby boy. There's no doubt about it. Deku looking up to see number 6. Now, as soon as he does so, he begins to try and use his quirk, using the one in his eyes. As soon as he does so, he gets rushed again. However, he decided to try and activate one of his other quirks, his hardening ability. Now, as soon as he gets hit, he would have got sent flying backwards into the bleachers once again, before he gets sent flying forwards, smashing into the ground. Now, as soon as that happens, he's in the direct center of the basketball courts, and he's trying to figure this all out. As he does one thing, hardening his skin to titanium. As Inko would have said that is him. That's the first her quirk he ever got. Her beginning to tear up. Her baby boy is alive. She finally has closure. She finally knows it. After all this time. As Inko would have said one thing. Izuku, you need to be careful. That man killed Hasashi. Deku just staring down. It's number 6. And, well, getting pissed off. Deku just turning to his mom. Saying, Mom, he didn't kill Dad. Dad is, well, he's the one who raised me. Her confused. Deku saying that he can explain it after he kills this guy. Her taken aback. Along with Sayako and, well, Ayama. That was a bit more heartless than they thought. Number 6 telling Deku to come at him. And to let's see what you have with these new quirks. Now, with that being said, Deku would have rushed forwards. Number 6 doing the same. This time at normal speed. Or at least not using this overclock ability. Number 6 is wearing gloves with actual fingers, so Deku can't make skin contact with him. With that being said, Deku, him and number 6 would get into a clash. As soon as these two grapple at each other, Deku is fighting for dominance and for strength in his titanium mode. Number 6 understanding this and beginning with something new. Number 6 would have done one weird thing Deku didn't know he could do. Deku thinks that he has number 6 well on a good hand, thinking that if he can just overpower him and take him down, this should be fine. Deku going to buckle his arms. As soon as he tries that, this is whenever something would hit Deku in the guts. Number 6 has another quirk. In fact, this one's a bit simpler. Or well, odd if you can call it that. Body augmentation. Number 6 hit Deku with something he threw out of his guts. Another fist. Deku being sent flying across the arena, along with an explosion following, as he begins to get bounced around and punched around. Whenever this time stops, Deku would have noticed something about this fight. Number 6 is holding back. Why is he holding back? Before, number 6 would just say, telling Deku to stop holding back himself. Then he'll have an answer. Deku just wiping the blood away from his mouth. Sayako telling him that whatever this guy can do, she knows that he can beat him. Then again, her just somewhat muttering to herself, trying to think. She has not seen Midoriya use any other quirk. Then again, Izuku Midoriya, where has she heard that name? Now, with that being said, Deku, he would just rush in and begin using air jet along with his fire bending, surprising a lot of them as he's moving at a faster speed. Number 6 seeing this, rushing in himself. Deku hearing something. It sounds like a loud high-pitched scream, but he's not really sure what that sound was. Number 6 speeding up and appearing directly in front of Deku. He would just tap Deku up on the chin and create an explosion, then doing the same with his other hand, creating 2 more and then doing the same, until he eventually gets up to 12, with this self-detonation ability. Then he would resume time, Deku being sent flying with an uppercut, which would have had enough force to actually crack his titanium. Now, whenever he does get back on the ground, this is whenever something else would happen. Deku decides to try and at least play a bit dirty. His super intelligence is telling him that he needs to stay focused as he runs in. Him bringing his hands down and actually throwing them upwards, sending up a large wall of fire. Number 6 can't get past that, but he needs to activate Last Stand and his adrenaline. This will at least help keep him up as he tries to think about something to create. Number 6 is versatile, yes, but if he can create like a flashbang or a grenade and catch him off guard, then that would be perfect. Along with that, he needs to increase the gravity around him. That might slow him down. Now, Deku would have been thinking more and more, trying to come up with 3 tactics. Some of them are all working, some of them may not. If he can get a good, grab on him, he can use his quirk deactivation. Then again, he might pull that tactic last time. I see. Deku just stopping and turning off his titanium. Number 6 confused. Deku just looking up at him, saying, "You want a fair fight, don't you? That's why you won't let me use some of my abilities." Number 6 just staring at Deku, before just nodding. Deku just saying then, "Well, it's only logical." Chiako just turning, someone just yelling at Deku, "No, it's not. Logical doesn't apply to the psychopath. He's kidnapped half the school, and for what? Why are you so important? Deku just hurrying, saying that he has a stockpile quirk. Is that what you want to hear? I'm the son of the most famous villain in the underworld. Her being confused. Deku then proceeding to say the same villain who stabbed All Might. The same villain who kidnapped me. The same villain who has taught me how to use my quirk, and has treated me like a son, because I am his son. He has been the best follower to me that he can, even though I've had to... Deku just, stopping what he's about to say. Feeling a bit of fear set in. Now, they are confused by what he was going to say, exactly wanting him to finish that sentence. Deku just saying that doesn't matter. Listen, I'll get us out of here. Number 6 rushing forwards. Deku doing the same. This time number 6 is not using that stupid clockwork. So, this is exactly what he wanted. Deku turning to Titanium. Running in. Number 6 smashed him across the face. With an explosion. Deku feeling this, but at least being able to keep his feet on the ground. He's made out of titanium, so he's a lot heavier. But then again, that's only one explosion, so it's not enough to send him flying. Deku going to swing out his arm. These two throwing jabs to each other. Number 6's explosions are enough to at least make Deku feel them, and are quite painful. Eventually, these two going a bit airborne. Number 6 smashing Deku up into the air, and trying to at least use clockwork at a small degree, making sure to send him flying and to keep him up. Anytime he hits the ground, he just runs over and sends a large smash of flurry of punches, basically juggling Deku. Deku doing one thing is he would use air jet and immediately send a large puff of fire out of his feet, smashing directly into this guy, and being able to hold him down. Deku bringing his hand up as he's going to smash it down, directly at his head. As soon as he does so, the guy's head splits, and he immediately forms behind Deku, putting him into a chokehold as he would immediately go to smash his head into the ground, and begin to beat on him. Everyone is still confused. What the hell is this guy? What the hell is Deku? What is this? Sayako trying to at least think about it. She's seen multiple quirks, and she's trying to keep track of them all. But even then, she can't. Now, with that being said, there is a bit of another situation. All for One. He is trying to find number 9 and figure out exactly what is going on with him, since he has had the idea to betray All for One. Now, All for One would confront number 9 and begin to talk with him. Now, these two are talking, and they are actually facing off on a rooftop not too far away from the school. All for One is telling number 9 that this is a grave mistake. You were not supposed to ever go after that woman. The boy is going to be put through proper test. He was only supposed to hunt down number 6, not kill him. Number 6 is still too valuable. And the doctor said this would be a good mental exercise for the boy. You said that he was sensitive after his last incident. Well, this time, it won't be like last time. How can you be so sure? Besides, I specifically ordered for that woman to never see harm. That is why the other me was there. Exactly where was he at the time? Taken down. Number 6. Him. Directly in front of Inko. She thinks you're dead. All for One's eyes widening. Him just saying that then they need to get her out of there. If she does survive the fight, things were going to be difficult. You have faith in him? Yes, yes I do. But I'm more worried about Inko. She is inside that building. All of one actually beginning to levitate off the ground and head in that direction. He is going to at least be there to extract people. He will spectate, but if anything happens with Inko, then he is rushing in. Now, with that being said, back inside, Deku is currently being strangled, or at least choked out, by number 6. And Deku is mimicking titanium. There is a good amount of pressure on his neck. It's actually beginning to get a little hard. Deku trying to bring his leg up to smash into him, stabbing directly into his back, and beginning to try and pull him away. Deku being able to at least headbutt him and hit him in the nose. Him falling backwards. Deku creating illusions. This time he creates an illusion of something coming out of his back, and immediately sends it straight for number 6. Number 6 unaware of this quirk. As he goes to block these. As soon as they touch him, though, they disperse in a mist. Deku running through them and actually socking him across the face, giving him an uppercut before he does actually grab him by the leg and pull him back down to the ground, beginning to punch and beat into him, as number 6 is beginning to lose. They are all watching this fight as they are actually trying to tell Deku to calm down, or to at least stay calm. Deku just continuously racking on punches into number 6. Until number 6 does use clockwork, for a little bit. Being able to stop time and directly do something that he knows will affect Deku. He smashes him in the back of his head with explosions. In fact, he does it right behind Deku's ear. So, that will be at least a little hard to work out. Now, eventually, Deku, he would have resumed. As soon as Deku goes to throw the next punch, this is whenever the explosions would occur. Deku immediately feeling these as he feels like his skull has cracked. Him getting sent sideways, and smashing into the bleachers once again. Number 6 getting up and walking over, asking Midoriya if that was it. Deku getting back up. This time though, he gets up and his shirt is ripped, and it is gone. He is bleeding out of one of his eyes, and his body is beginning to get more crystal-like. Deku is mimicking the diamond necklace he has, or at least the diamond he keeps on his necklace. Number 6 actually a bit surprised, and Intelli and Inko are in shock, along with Ayama. He is one sparkly bastard. Anyways, I thought I would just slip that in, since someone's probably going to say it eventually. Now, with that being said, Deku would rush forwards, and begin by bringing his hand up to increase gravity. As soon as he does so, number 6 would have rushed forwards. Deku using multitask, throwing his hands out around him, and immediately engulfing himself in fire. As soon as he does so, number 6 would have actually been a bit surprised. His survival instinct has kicked in. In fact, he has been using it for a majority of this fight. The boy is dangerous, he will give him that. In fact, it's also quite exhilarating to fight someone like this. Now, with that being said, time would resume, and number 6 would have gotten away from Midoriya. Him actually having to pat himself off because of the fire. Deku smirking. He thought he was going to use pyrokinesis, but he didn't. He tricked him. So, He doesn't see inside my head, but he does know whenever I'm going to, or will think I'm going to use a quirk. Deku keeping a straight face, beginning to use his illusions on his face. Thinking, if he's moving so fast, then he has to see what my expression. So, this will at least narrow it down to what I'm going to do. I got lucky with the first one, so come on. Deku's face disappearing. The only thing being left is, well, the sockets where his eyes used to be. Number 6 a bit, well, intimidated by this, thinking that Deku may have just found a weakness. Now, Deku has been at least trying to focus on number 6, thinking about it more and more and more, as he would rush in, number 6 doing the same. Deku has become unpredictable. Now, with that means that the only time he'd be able to tell if Deku's going to use some ability is whenever he does try and bring up his hand. So, Deku would have rushed in and used firebending, immediately being able to smash number 6 in one of his arms and grab him by it, being able to pull him and tackle him away, as he does actually rip off this fake arm, or at least he believes it to be fake. Body augmentation. As Deku throws this piece away, he would immediately begin to burn it. Number 6 basically just staying there with one arm, saying that Deku has figured it out, as it would have regrown. Deku clearly at least knowing what that means. He's like a single-cell organism now, so he needs to take out what he can, and eventually he will get down to the real one under there. So, that should be good. Deku running in, as he uses info checker and multitask, along with his firebending and his hardening quirk, relying on his spidey sense also, and his adrenaline to keep him moving. Deku just doing so, as he throws his hand outwards and increases gravity. Number 6 going to freeze time. As soon as he does though, he does feel this weight increase, as he is slowing down, at least feeling the effect on him, until he moves out of where Deku's hand is. So, he got a gravity quirk. Interesting. As he runs forwards, trying to smack Deku in the face. As soon as he gets directly in front of Deku, time would have resumed. Deku being able to look up and immediately grab him by his throat, and going to jab him in the eyes. As soon as he does so, he would stab his eyes into his face, everyone being surprised. Number 6 wrapping his, well, splitting his body, and actually turning into 2. These two begin to somewhat throw punches at Deku as he brings his hands up to block. Now, Deku would have done one thing, immediately just stomping his legs down and blasting upwards into the air, leaving number 6 heavily coated in fire. This being what Deku has thought about. He might be able to move super fast, but he does have a small cooldown period. So, gravity might be the only thing he needs here. As Deku continue, all from watching Deku use a tactic. Number 6 can't see his face, so he can't tell his next move. Deku using a mix of fire and, well, adrenaline, and quirk deactivation. Now, he uses quirk deactivation the next time number 6 is close to him, and Deku would have grabbed him, and begin to burn at him. As soon as number 6 begins to turn into that powdered substance, Deku, he would have shown his eyes. Number 6 confused before he does realize what's going on, his body getting completely solid. Deku smashing him across the face, and running over, and grabbing him by his head, beginning to smash his head over and over into the gymnasium floor, as his head is now bleeding. Deku has given number 6 a concussion. Number 6 getting back up, and stumbling around, confused at what Deku did. Deku running forwards and immediately just socking him into the gut, and doing so over and over and over again, until number 6 just falls to the ground. Deku blinking as he turns off this augmentation quirk. Number 6 not realizing it. Deactivate a quirk. Now, number 6 does not realize it though, telling Deku to, well, pay more attention to the area around him. Deku doesn't understand. Number 6 saying 3, 2, 1. As a bomb around the school would go off, the building began to shake. As he looks over to see, Ayama's chair is falling, and he's going headfirst into the ground. Him going to run over. As soon as he does so, he at least catches Ayama, and pushes the chair, so that he at least smacks back first onto the ground, and he would be okay. Deku at least taking a deep breath in sigh of relief, knowing that things will be fine. Now, with that being said, he would turn to look. And Telly is somewhat okay, he believes. She does look a bit wobbly, but she'll be fine, as he goes to look up in the air. His mom is missing. Deku immediately turning and getting angry, as his eyes do coat with fear. Him saying, "What did you do with my mother?" Now, this is whenever Deku, he subconsciously pumps himself with his quirk, not realizing it because of his adrenaline being high. His hand coating in this black substance. Deku running forwards and immediately just jabbing upwards into number 6's guts. Number 6 doing one thing. He would have been able to move his stomach around and other things in his body, being able to avoid Deku's hit, making it non-lethal. But he was still hit with fear. It made skin-to-skin contact. So, that's bad. Now, with that being said, number 6 would just say that he'll be fine. Deku using his other quirk, deactivating his. Number 6 actually beginning to form around Deku. Now, as soon as number 6 forms around Deku, Deku would have begun to punch at him, coating his hands in the substance. Number 6 not realizing what's going on until he does actually notice he's hallucinating. And he would have begun falling onto the ground and begin to spaz out, as there are more and more explosions. Deku looking at number 6 and thinking that that should be at least be done. Him deactivating his quirk once again as he brings his leg up and smashes it down into number 6's, breaking his right kneecap, which he would then proceed to grab onto his shirt collar and bring his hand up, before looking at his hands, realizing that they're covered in this black substance, actually beginning to back away, and to stare down at his hands, as they get more shaky and unstable. Deku just staring at this as his eyes whiten, and tears begin to swell up. He used fear. He used fear. No. Him running over. Now, number 6 is just hallucinating, and is in intense pain. Deku has been coating his skin in this chemical, and he doesn't know how to use it. Although there's another problem. Another bomb goes off, sending Sayako flying through across the stadium. Deku doing one thing. He grabs number 6 and holds onto him, taking his quirk along with his super strength. Not really sure about the body augmentation. He thinks it might be useful, so he'll at least hold onto it. As soon as he does so, he would run over, as he unhardens his body, and he immediately feels the effects of all the battle damage. He left number 6's self-detonation quirk. Now, number 6 would just be screaming about how he is going to be better than O'Clock. He deserves O'Clock's quirk. Give it back, give it back, give it back! Now, his adrenaline is wearing off, and he's actually beginning to cough up quite a bit of blood. Not really sure what's happening. him eventually dropping to his knees and having to crawl. As one thing happens, he hears number 6 talking behind him. Number 6 staring directly at Deku, as his eyes go pitch black and he gives Deku a sinister smile, as he sets himself off, blowing up. Now, with that being said, Deku, he would have been sent flying into a wall, smashing into it and breaking his back. Sayako is actually close by, and Deku is staring at her as he hears more and more bombs go off, along with sirens in the distance, trying to at least move his hands and get his body up. He needs to save her. He needs to help his friends. Please. That's all I want to do. Now, with that being said, All for One would have come in, directly stepping in front of Deku, bending down and picking him up. Deku just saying, Sayako, Sayako, please, save her. All for One doing one thing, bringing his other hand up and grabbing her, and then throwing her over his shoulder. Sayako is unresponsive. In fact, she is unconscious, he believes. Now, with that being said, this is whenever All for One would begin to levitate himself out of the building, and he is directly over the school, holding his son in his arms. More and more explosions going off, as Kirigiri would open a portal, opening it and getting Deku and All for One out of there, along with Sayako. As the number 6 vigilante is presumed dead, died in the explosion. In fact, there seems to be a lot of information pointing to this being a villain attack. Not just that, quite a number of students were found at the school. Now, the families of these students and the teachers were unaware of what was going on. Some parents thought their kids were out messing with their friends after school, they just didn't call. Some kids had extra activities they did attend to. And well, the rest of them, they were troublemakers. So it wasn't much a surprise for them staying out late. However, the way they found them was not good. Now, with that being said, they would arrive at the villain's hideout. Deku is heavily injured, All for One actually handing him off one of his regeneration quirks, the strongest one he has, as he also does set Sayako down. And, well, Kirigiri would untie Ayama, since he is still in his chair. Kirigiri opened a portal to get Ayama out of there, since he was directly in the middle of the battlefield, and was heavily injured, along with Inko standing there. She is staring at this man with white hair, looking at her son, still not believing it, saying that he cannot be Hasashi. Hasashi is, as the other version of him would walk in, her staring directly at him, and being confused. Hasashi? Inko? What are you doing here? This man saying that he's you, is that... As Hasashi would just transform, morphing his face, and looking down. The same expression the man in front of her is currently giving her. Not sure what to do. Actually somewhat horrified at this, as Deku is unconscious. His body is healing, but his mind is a bit, well, frail. He passed out in the heat of battle. And, well, things were not easy for him. The quirk he vowed never to use again, or vowed to just not use, He used it in battle. It gave him the edge. It is what may have saved his life. Along with that, he has gained another quirk. Her confused, saying that that cannot be true. What proof do you have that you are my husband? All of one turning to her and pulling her close to him, giving her a kiss. Her somewhat trying to pull away before she feels the familiarity. His lips, the way he's holding her, everything. As he would pull away, her immediately smacking him and demanding an explanation. This isn't right. All for one just sitting her down and beginning to talk with her. Now, along with that, you do have Midoriya. His body has healed, but his mind needs the rest. So, this is going to be challenging. Along with that, Sayako and Telly. The doctor is attending to her. The trauma from the explosion may have hurt her body more than they thought. Along with that, she may have gotten some brain damage. So, she is going to be hurt for a while. All of one thinking that he should hand her off one of his weakest quirks. His weakest regeneration. It will take time, yes, but he does need to keep some of these on him. The other reason why he's able to at least stay somewhat in his prime. He didn't want to hand over his strongest already, but that was his son. He'll do anything for him. So he'll at least hand off a semi-strong one. Instead of her taking years to recover, it should only take her months, possibly only a year. Since this is brain damage, the brain is more sensitive tissue. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and one thing. I paused at 34 minutes. If you guys did notice that, I actually did check a comment I got. Simply, logic. You commented about body augmentation right after I added it into the series. I don't know if that's good luck or bad. Because honestly, it's very surprising. Yeah, he replied. I think so. Hang on. Found it. He replied. Anyway, guys, I do hope you guys enjoyed the video and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.